All right, so we are live on Facebook as well. I know, I cannot do it. We're live on Facebook too. And today we are discussing how to securely share, sync, and migrate your data with Publist. And we are here today with Ben. Will is asleep because he's coding, and that's pretty much everything he does. Code, sleep, and repeat. And this is unfortunately the last webinar of our seven-part webinar series with Publist, with one bonus webinar about AppSuite. And so it's one of the best times where you can ask your questions, where you can ask about features and about pretty much anything you want. My name is Jakub. I'm CMO of PitchGround. I'll be hosting this webinar, and we are here today with Ben Chappell. And he is head of growth in PitchGround, in Publist, I'm sorry. All right, so we're discussing how to securely share, sync, and migrate your data. So Ben, how are things? How are you today?
Things are great. Yeah, things are picking up. I've just been responding to feedback from everybody. We just hired 2 new engineers. We want to get things going faster again and try to get through all these features. So it's been busy, but things have been great.
Yeah, that's impressive. So basically you hired those engineers to make your servers run way faster and to make the Publist experience more pleasant, right?
Exactly, yeah. So one to make our servers run faster, and then the other to start building through all these features that we've gotten requests for.
All right, amazing. So I think we can start with the usual stuff, which is press kit. So for people who are joining for the first time, they will get the context of what you are actually trying to solve here in this world and what Publist does exactly. And guys, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us in the Zoom chat or in the comment section on Facebook if you're watching us on Facebook page or Facebook group, and we'll answer them in the end. All right, so let's get right into it.
Perfect. Yeah, so I've got the deck here. We could just go through a bit of history, how we got to where we are with the product, the inspiration behind Publist, and how we decided we wanted to solve the problem that we are and unsilo people's data. Yeah. So a little background on me and Will, I'm CEO of Publist. Will's been working on startups for a long time. He was working at MIT as an engineer at 15, and then he's been working on startups ever since. So really smart guy. And then I have worked on a few startups before Publist, both in blockchain and cryptocurrency. So again, got any blockchain guys out there, can always feel free to chat with me on Facebook.
We already did yesterday. It was interesting.
Yeah, we had a good conversation after the webinar. But as all of you know, I mean, the cloud software is exploding. Like, we've had an incredible amount of adoption of the cloud in the last 20 years. And it's been great having more and more of our data on the cloud, and it certainly offers a lot of benefits. And we also have a lot of really specialized tools on the cloud that a lot of us couldn't do without. But there's also a few things we left behind with the cloud. And before we had the cloud, we spent most of our times working off of our desktop. And when we were working off our desktop, we knew where all of our files were. They were always in one place. And we also had all of our apps there in one place. So we could basically just work out of our desktop. And it's not really something we can say to the cloud, because you have to open 3, 4, 5 different apps and services every day just when you start your work. So we want to centralize that and move back towards the simple experience that you had on your desktop. Mm-hmm. So here are a couple of the challenges that we see in the cloud. First of all, everybody's apps are siloed. That means that you have data and files and whatnot in so many different apps. I mean, the average for businesses is 14. And it's just getting really hard to manage. The same thing with just different clouds. I'm sure everybody who's listening to this, if you use cloud storage, you have multiple providers, and it gets hard to keep track of all of your files. The specialization of the apps that we use is actually really great, because there are a lot of really pointed tools that are being built, but there's no consistency as far as the file types go, and they don't really play nice with each other. And so we want to merge them all together. And then, unfortunately, most of them are web-based by default. And so we want to give people, you know, a good desktop app and easier ways to manage all their files.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I mean, here's a few statistics, but as all of you know, the cloud's not going anywhere. It's growing at an incredible rate. So all of these problems are just going to continue to compound unless we come to a really good solution to them. Then here are a few of the trends we've noticed in cloud software that really inspired us to build Publist. Software's getting more and more collaborative. I don't think it's getting collaborative enough, but it's definitely getting more collaborative, and we're trying to continue with that trend. We've seen a lot of people start building knowledge bases and note centralization. So, people just have too much information on too many apps to keep track of. And that's why you see people just trying to centralize just information. People just have too much to keep in their heads. More and more apps are having APIs come out. And that's really what allows us to build Publist in the way it's built, because we can now connect with all these apps and merge them into one. And people are getting more and more focused on controlling their data and condensing their workflow down into fewer apps, which we want to continue to help them with. So now we come to our solution. Publist is your one window into the cloud that bridges what you used to be able to do on your desktop with your cloud data. And obviously we'll show you a bit more about the interface in a second, but here's a quick image. So you can see, you can connect all of your different apps. You can have all of your files in one place, and you can store them onto your Publist drives.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yep, and you can even view certain file types. Soon you're going to be able to edit them as well. Here's a code viewer for any of you developers out there.
Ben, you will be master pitcher because you're doing this for, I believe, like 6th time.
Yeah, this is number 6.
Yeah.
And then, the last thing, farther out into the future, I'm sure a lot of you guys are using Google Drive, and you have Docs, Sheets, and Slides on Google Drive, and we're going to be building our own app suite, but we're going to be making it in a more collaborative way than Google has. So we're going to basically be making Publist Pages, Sheets, and Presenter, and the great thing about that is, since you already have all of your files in Publist and all of your apps connected, you're going to be able to work out of any file type with our app suite. So, if you have a Word doc that came from your OneDrive integration on Publist, you're going to be able to edit it in Publist Pages, and then the changes will be reflected back in the original Word document and on your OneDrive. And that's going to be true of all of these apps. And then since we have so much data, we can get into some even more interesting apps. We did a whole webinar on this one. You should go back and check out. But for example, we can view data from all of your sheets in a really interesting way. And then eventually, we're going to open up the apps to third-party developers. So we're going to build those first couple apps, the Sheets, the Slides, and the Presenter. And then we're going to let third-party developers build apps just like they could on the iOS App Store. So we're going to get a lot of really interesting apps coming out.
I cannot wait to see this. I mean, in the webinar, it was amazing. Guys, I know that you had quite a lot of questions about the replays and that they are not working. Now they should be working on a Hey Summit. But if you didn't get any of the webinar we're doing, you can just find it quickly on the Facebook page too. So I think that's about the introduction. What do you say, Ben?
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's get on to Publist.
All right, and I'll just repeat, guys, if you have any question, just feel free to reach out to us here in a comment section, or if you're watching on Zoom, and we'll answer them in the end of the webinar, so we keep the structure how it actually supposed to be. All right, so Ben, how to securely share, sync, and migrate our data with Publist? Yeah,
so tons of stuff to cover here. Really excited for this webinar. And I guess the first thing it would make sense to start with is just go over all of the different apps you can connect to Publist, where you can actually find data to migrate over to Publist. So you can see here's my Publist account. And here are all of the apps that I have integrated with Publist. So you can see I have my Dropbox, Slack, Gmail, another Dropbox, Trello, and Google Drive. And if I go down here and hit connect, I actually have a few more options for apps that we've already built integrations for. You can see all 11 of them right here. So if any of you guys are using any of these apps, DocuSign, pCloud, I know that's a big one, you can connect those to Publist as well. And then in addition to that, we have a whole list of apps that are coming soon. And we're going to be building these integrations as quickly as we can. And we've structured the backend in a way that it's really fast for us to build these integrations. So if you guys have any suggestions for other integrations, please let me know. We can do them in about a day once we've built out more of the features that you guys need. But once I have these apps connected, I can go here and click on one of them, and I can see all of the files in this app. So here are all the files that I have, sent to me on Slack in any of my Slack channels. Same thing here for all the files in my Dropbox. And you'll notice that all these files come with a little link or a check. And by default, the files here are just links to the original file. But what I can do is I could find a file I want, like let's say this old logo, and I can drag and drop it into one of my cloud drives. And then I'm going to get this little pop-up right here. It's going to give me two options. So if I don't want to use any of my storage, I can click link file. And it's just going to move a link to that file in Slack into my Publist drive so I can organize it. Or I can copy the file and I can actually store it onto my Publist drive. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it. You'll see here it's copying. And then here I've got the image right here in my PitchGround drive. So that's the easiest way to move files. And you can also, if I wanted, I could, let's go to Dropbox. I could just shift click and get a few of these and move them all at once. So if you have a ton of files, you can select all of them. You can move them all into your drive at once. It's really easy. I'll link them this time. So there you go. Now I've got these here in my drive as well. So that's the easiest way to just move all your files from one of your connected apps to one of your drives. Now, this is the best way to get files into Publist right now, but in the future, we've got tons of really interesting features coming out to sync your files as well. So pretty soon, we're going to be working on automatic backups. So let's say, I'm working out of Dropbox all the time. And anytime I add a new file to Dropbox, I want it to automatically be backed up in one of my drives in Publist. We're going to be building that, so it'll all happen automatically. And then with our desktop app, you're going to be able to sync folders as well from your desktop. So let's say, I have a folder, just like with Dropbox, basically. One of the things I love about Dropbox is that it's really easy for me to just drag things into a folder on my desktop, and then I know that it's stored to the cloud. And we're going to be doing the same thing with our desktop app.
Ben, can you please click on a link icon? Somia is saying that it was showing a blank sheet for me when I clicked that.
The link icon.
Yeah, next. Yeah, that.
Got you. Oh, probably shouldn't. Hold on. Shouldn't look at those. Let me find another.
Yeah, this one. All right. So it should actually show the inside of the document, or?
Well, it depends. So it sounded like she was looking at a sheet.
Yeah.
So yeah, only files that are stored. Some of them we can load quickly, but if it's not stored, you can't always preview it. So I would recommend storing that, and that should make it so you can preview it.
It was when drag and dropped in Publist.
From OneDrive?
No. She just said that when I dragged and dropped in Publist. I don't know from where, but she said, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd be willing to get on a quick call with her, or if she could just send me some screenshots, we can definitely figure out what the problem is.
All right. Sounds good. Right, Ben, let's move on.
Yeah, so then the next feature that's going to be really interesting that we're working on in the future, as far as moving data goes, is what we've been calling two-way flow. So right now, as I showed you, you can really easily move files from one of your accounts into Publist and store them that way. But what's tougher is, I mean, you can't move files from Publist into your connected apps or just between your connected apps. So soon we're going to be working on a feature. So if I wanted to drag something from Dropbox, say, into, or I guess a better example would be from Slack into Dropbox to store, I could do that as well. Or if I have, you know, a file that I moved from my desktop into Publist, I could move that into any of my accounts here. And that's just going to make it, you know, so you have one place to manage all of your cloud files between any of your apps. You know, you don't have to move them into Publist to interact with them. And then one of the other interesting features that this one's gotten a lot of requests, we're going to be able to build embedded folders on people's websites. So I know a lot of people I've heard from have said that they want to be able to move files into Publist that their you know, their clients or their users actually upload onto their website. So we're going to make it, you can embed a folder from Publist, you know, into your website, and your clients and whatnot can give you files there.
How exactly it will look like on a website?
Yeah, so we've still got to decide that. We've been looking at a few companies that already do this and are trying to decide how that interface is going to look. But regardless of exactly how we, you know, design the UI, it'll be able to just
no, I mean, like, can you tell me like the specific use case you want to achieve with this? Oh
yeah, so you know, maybe a marketer or somebody, or let's say you know, somebody has clients who they're editing videos for, and on their website they want, you know, their prospects and potential clients to be able to just upload a video onto their website. So they can see the video before, you know, they do like a consultation call or something with them. So they'll be able to drag and drop the video right onto their website, and then, you know, that person could go and view it in Publist.
Interesting. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all we have on the roadmap coming up as far as, you know, syncing and migration goes. But as you can see, you know, right now already moving files from your connected apps is really easy, and it's only going to get easier.
All right. So if it's not there anything else about data migration, syncing, and sharing, I think we can quickly go through a roadmap, and then I would love to like chat with you for a while because we actually haven't had a chance to talk about much about your journey and so on. Like even in the first webinar, we jumped right into the walkthrough.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So I think like last few minutes we can just chat. All right. Yeah. So we'll jump into the roadmap.
Yeah, perfect. So we've got our whole roadmap here, and if any of you guys want to, you know, we've been adding and updating this as we get more feedback from everybody in PitchGround. It's been great. So if any of you guys want to like check this out at any time, you can just go to publist.app/roadmap, and you can find this there. So, you know, the first feature we built for everybody was two-factor authentication. That's already working. And then moving on, next we're going to be working on client-side encrypted storage. So if any of you guys are using pCloud, you'll already be familiar with this feature. This is you know, like a folder with an extra layer of encryption, and it's password protected just for your files that you need to keep most secure. I showed you that whole coming soon page for integrations. We're going to be working on those once we've built out you know, a few more of these features that people have requested. Just try and get as many new integrations as possible. We're going to be working on a trash can and a file retention feature. So, you know, right now in Publist, if I go to one of my stored files and I hit delete, that file is just going to be gone. But we want to make it more like your desktop, where if you drag a file into the trash, it'll be there until you clear the trash can out. So, you know, if you change your mind, if you need to get a file back, you can always find it in the trash. We're going to be working on more advanced sorting. So here you see we've already got some information here, like the file type, when the file was last updated. And we're going to be adding a few more you know, qualities here, and then making it so you can sort your files with them.
I see. Okay.
And then another way to make it easier to find files is we're going to be adding to our search. So right now we have an integrated search feature So if I want to find something like, I want to search logo, this will search all of my connected apps as well as all of my cloud drives. But right now, we can only search the titles of your files. So we're going to be making it so you can actually search through the content. So let's say, I have a Google Doc that I wrote a bunch of text in, and I just remember one sentence, but I don't remember the title. I could search for some of the content in that Google Doc as well. And then we're going to be working on embedding. So this is the Wistia-like features that everybody's been talking about. This is if you want to store images and videos on Publist and then embed them onto your website, or even embed a folder onto your website, like we were talking about earlier. You'll be able to do that. We're going to be working on some agency features or white labeling. So, I know we got a lot of people in the group that are really excited to become resellers, and we're going to make that happen. We should be giving an update soon on exactly how that program's going to look. So you guys can all look forward to that one. We're going to be coming out with a desktop app. So this is just to make it even easier to access and manage all of your files. And it also lets us do a few interesting things like, sync to folders on your desktop. That'll make it so we can fix, Google Drive. I know I've been talking to a few of you guys about the file picker modal you have to use with Google Drive. Then we're going to make it so you can bring more of your own storage backends. So we actually could have covered this, talking about migrating data, because when you connect a drive, you're actually given the option to bring your own storage. So you can use Publist storage, or if you're a developer, you're using Amazon S3, AWS, or any of these coming soon services, you'll be able to connect them so you don't even have to pay us for storage. So this is the two-way flow we talked about earlier. If you want to move files between your connected apps or from one of your Publist drives into one of your connected apps, you'll be able to do so. We're going to be adding drive sharing and permissions on all your files, so it'll be easier to collaborate in Publist. So we want to make it so, if I wanted to share this PitchGround drive with you, Jacob, I could just drag and drop things into it to share them with you. And then, right now we can already share files with links. So, if I go in here and I want to share something, I can just hit share and get a link for it. And we want to make a links manager so you can see all of the files that you've shared with everybody. Then we're going to be working on a Chrome extension. I'm working out of Chrome all the time, so I would love an extension that has all my files in it. And this will also allow us to connect your Chrome downloads to the download manager that we're coming out with. And this is just going to be all the downloads that you have viewable in Publist.
I see.
So then we're going to be working on making our media player a bit better, making it so you can preview more file types, making an audio player, making our video and image previewer a bit better. Then we're going to be working on a mobile app as well. This has been one of the most requested features in the group. So you can find all of your files on Publist in your connected apps from your phone. And then lastly, we covered this briefly when we were going over the deck, but we're going to be working on our own app suite. So you can edit all of your files, not just view them, but actually work on them in Publist. And then we're going to be opening up that the apps to
the most exciting part.
Yeah, exactly. This is where it's going to really, really get interesting.
Impressive. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. We have a question here from Arthur. We have a Publist. We understand that collections, virtual folders / files are now completed. When it will be available in Publist app?
Yeah, so there's been a bit of confusion here because it really already is available. So we made a decision not to actually call them virtual folders, and instead just allow you to have linked files or stored files in your drives. So the feature's already available, it's just we don't have separate folders for them. So here, I'll show you really quickly. If I find a file in my Dropbox and I drag it into one of my drives, I get this window here that asks me if I want to link it or copy it. If I hit copy, that actually stores it just like it did previous to this feature. And if I just hit link, then I get a link to the original file in Dropbox in one of my drives so I can organize it. So hopefully that clears things up.
Amazing. So it's available, but slightly different than people would expect.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. All right. So yeah, thanks a lot for going through the roadmap. It was quite impressive. And guys, you can have it all if you will buy Publist lifetime license. You will get all the future deals. Future updates, future features with the lifetime license. But right now, I'll just ask you, Ben, to stop sharing your screen and let's just talk a little bit. And then I will just quickly tell people what to expect next. So how is the launch in PitchGround?
Oh God, it's been great. Yeah, I've been loving all this feedback from everybody. It's been awesome.
I love it. So what is the most surprising thing you've learned so far from the PitchGround community?
I think the suggestion to build embeddable files, that was the most interesting thing for me. I had never thought of that feature. I don't think Will had either. But it's a great one, and we've gotten amazing feedback on it. And it sounds like there are a lot of use cases and a lot of people that want to embed videos and whatnot onto their sites. And I think it completely makes sense if you've already got all your files stored in one place. It makes sense to be able to embed them as well.
Makes total sense. And what was the most difficult thing about this launch here on PitchGround?
Oh, just the scaling. We got way more users than we ever expected, and way more files being stored than we expected. So getting our servers to keep up has been the most challenging bit, but we're making some new hires, so hopefully we can take care of that.
No, I mean, as we discussed yesterday, it's a quite cool problem to have, that you need to.
I can't complain. Yeah.
you need to find people to actually make your servers more stable. I mean, you are happy, Will is happy. I bet investors are happy too.
Exactly. Yeah, they're asking us every day, how many more users do you have? It's been great.
Really? Tell me more about this dynamics with investor and your team. How often are you in touch with them, and how does this whole relationship work?
It's funny, we weren't in touch with them all that much before we did this launch.
All right.
We were doing a few updates every month. But they were really interested in the idea of a lifetime deal. I think most of the companies they work with, are doing more subscription models. So they've been out all the time asking us how that's been going.
So they were immediately on board, with this idea of lifetime deal, because I would think that they would be arguing something like, hey, the lifetime value of the customer will be lost, right? Or they'll just pay you once and you will not get the whole lifetime value you normally get without lifetime deal.
Right.
Was there something like this or not?
Yeah. They when we first told them, they thought, we shouldn't be doing that. It did take them a bit of convincing. They thought that, subscription model's better. But what it really boils down to for us is that right now, I mean, we're a venture-backed company, and we're not doing this launch for the money per se. I mean, it definitely helps us make some new hires and build some new features. But the biggest thing for us was getting, just a dedicated user base to give us feedback all the time, so we can make the product, as good as it can be. So that's I mean, the real reason why we wanted to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the feedback you're getting, so many new suggestions and everything, every day, and they keep coming every day. So yeah. I think it actually fulfilled your expectations, didn't it?
Oh my God, it's been so valuable, and I think it will continue to be valuable as we build out all these features. We've always got people to ask what they think now.
All right. So why did you actually decide to work with investor and not being bootstrap company?
So yeah, we've talked a lot about this. The thing about Publist is that it's a really ambitious project. When you think about everything on our roadmap and everything we want to build, and also when you think about cloud storage, the bar is really high. If you went and started using an app and one of your files was lost, or you started having problems with it, you're not gonna trust it. And there's just so much to build that I think it makes a lot more sense for us to take on some money and do it right. so people can be really confident in the project or in the product. And then also in the future, just there's so much that we want to build, and it's such a big vision once you start thinking about, you know, third-party developers making apps and all the apps that we want to build, that it just made more sense to take on some outside money from investors.
And what I really like that you actually didn't choose like somebody with only the money, but you chose someone with a proven track record in a SaaS industry, in the industry you are actually operating with in. So is it actually helping you like at this moment, like that they are giving you some mentors, or they're providing you some consultations, or I don't know, like just information to help you succeed?
Yeah, 100%. It's been incredible. You know, Inspirations, our lead investor, you can see about them on the site, obviously. They've been amazing as far as, you know, mentorship goes, and their network's incredible. So that's helped us a ton. And then we have, you know, plenty of other investors as well, that all have experience in tech. You know, so one of our, you know, the investor we got after Inspiration was like an ex-executive at Google. And so his feedback's been incredible as well. And so we've definitely been looking for investors that, you know, aren't just here for the money, but are experienced in tech and can help us along the way.
All right. So it was, I believe, your seed money. It is $900,000, right?
Yes. Yeah. Not raised all the way, but yes.
All right. And are you like looking to start raising like round A, or how will it work for you in the future?
Well, so yeah, we were in, you know, I don't know if it'll be an A round. I think it'll be more of a seed round now. The more pre-seed. We were so early. But
how do you differentiate it, like with the amount of money you will be receiving? Like
no, I think it's more about where the company and the product's at.
I see. Okay.
We're still more thinking about product, and you know, by the A round, you're thinking a lot about just user metrics and stuff like that. So
you would say that you already found your product market fit at this moment?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So what is it? What is the magical market that fits your product?
You know, marketers and anybody in media has been where we've done best.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, our product has such a broad use case that those have been best, but anybody that, you know, has a lot of apps and stores files can use us.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny because we received a review from Tiago, and I think you saw it, and he's a musician, and he has a lot of like music files because he makes music, right? And he loves Publist because he can like quickly find everything he needs. So yeah, I think like creators in general, like photographers and video creators, musicians, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's been the craziest thing is, you know, I mean, we're starting to feel like we're finding market fit, but then we're still surprised. Like every single week we'll get an email from some random person saying that they've been loving Publist, and we'll ask them what they do, and it's something we never would have thought of. So we're figuring out the market fit, but we're always still surprised by the use cases.
I mean, it's all about like listening and never stop listening to your audience and to your customers. Anyway, you said that you hired 2 new developers right now. Who are the other people who you are looking to hire in the future?
Yeah, in the future, so we're going to be hiring more developers because there's so many features on our roadmap that need to get built. We're going to be hiring customer support because, you know, right now it's mostly just been Will and I responding to everybody in PitchGround, all these emails. So we want to hire some people that can be, you know, so we can have somebody online, you know, all the time. And then after that, we're going to be hiring some content creators. So if anybody's interested in any of those 3 roles, definitely feel free to reach out.
So you actually want to be more in like architect work than like the plumber work, like the micro works on the day-to-day. So you actually want to work more on the business than in the business, right?
Exactly. I mean, you know, we're still going to be a small team. Will and I are still going to be, you know, getting our hands dirty, building things and doing things all the time. But it'd be great to, you know, be able to extend ourselves a bit with some outside help.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's an impressive journey. How long actually is this going on? That's
a really interesting story. So there's you know, the company Publist itself has been around for 2 years, but this version of the product has only been around for about 4 months. So originally when Will raised money, like, there's been so many versions of Publist. Originally when we raised the money, Publist was, it was called Paragraph, and it was a social media built around news. So like, how when you purchase Spotify, you pay $10 and you get all of the music. And so there's like that distributed paywall where you just pay a bit up front and then you get everything. Will was trying to do that for news. And then, it turned into a way to centralize all your news and connect to all the news sources and get all your news in one place. And then just talking to all of our customers and talking to so many different people, we realized that, centralizing files is way more important and way more useful for people than centralizing news was. And so we started building that, and that's when things just started to blow up. That's when we first started actually seeing, signs of market fit. And so we just, went all in on that idea, and here we are.
Yeah, I was studying quite a lot, like how do you know that you have a product market fit? And there's this saying that you just feel it.
Yeah.
Everything just starts to go like smoothly. That everything you do just is well accepted in your audience because you already have an audience with a good retention. Yeah. So.
No, 100%. It's funny, like before we were building this version of Publist, like it was always an uphill battle. And Will and I would talk all the time, like, how do we measure market fit? How do we know if we're finding market fit? And now looking back, it just seems, silly to even think about it, because it's just, you just know, it's just everything goes well. Everybody so.
And that's where the most companies fail. They just build something that nobody wants. And they are maybe just way too romantic about their idea and their solution, and not about the problem they're actually trying to solve.
Yeah, and we almost fell into that trap with news. So I'm really glad we talked to enough people and found out what they really want to move into files.
Yeah, if I compare like these problems you were solving, like bringing all the news to one place and bringing all files to one place, it's such a difference. Like
exactly. Yeah, I'm sure you'd only use one of those apps.
Yeah, I really don't understand why I should use like the first one.
Yeah. Well, not many people did, which was sort of the problem.
It was one of the most important lessons you got, because that's why we are here talking right now.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Ben, it was amazing. And before we'll end, guys, go to pitchground.com/products/publist. While this deal is still on, you can buy it for $49. Now, what Publist does, it brings all your files under one roof from all your cloud apps, such as Dropbox, Google Drive, pCloud, Slack, Gmail, and many others. Now, as I said, you can buy it for $49 lifetime. It means that you don't have to pay monthly or annually. You just pay once and that's it. You will get 500 gigabytes storage to this basic license, and you will get 2 accounts per app. Now, what does this mean? 2 accounts means that you have, for example, 2 Gmail accounts. You have james@gmail.com and you have james1@gmail.com. And app is Gmail, right? So this license will be good for you. But if you have james3@gmail.com, you will need to buy Publist add-on pack, which will add you more account integration. That's option number 1. Or you can buy bigger license, bigger package with 3 accounts per app, which comes with 2 terabytes of storage. And then you go to 4 terabytes for $495 with 6 accounts per app. And if you need unlimited amounts of accounts per app, this plan, 6 terabytes plan for $695 is the right for you. Now go to pitchground.com/products/publist with capital P and check it out. Check all these reviews from Konstantin, Philip. We'll be adding more from Somia, Tiago, and Francesco, because they were so kind and they sent us all these amazing testimonials and reviews. And read pretty much anything what do you want about this amazing app. Unfortunately, this is our last webinar, but all the replays are available on publist.pitchground.com/replays or on our Facebook page. So make sure you will check it as well. So Ben, thanks a lot. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been great. And I'll still be in the groups as well as Will. So we're always available.
Yeah, and I mean, keep doing those update videos because they're pretty cool. Like these short videos where you just record Will with his huge smile in the first seconds of the video, and then he explains what he's up to, and just keep doing these.
Planning on it.
What is that?
We're definitely planning on it. No, we want to keep everybody updated for a long time. Yeah,
for sure. Because I mean, a lot of people actually rely on your roadmap, especially on the app suite and on the Vistia-like features. So it will be pretty amazing if you just keep us in the loop and tell us if everything is going well.
Yep, we'll definitely be putting out some updates.
All right, Ben, say hi to Will after he wakes up, and thanks a lot for these webinars. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Yep, thank you.
All right, bye everyone, and thanks for joining.